In 1784, the Holy Roman Emperor sent his ships against the Dutch Republic. The Dutch Navy fired exactly one cannonball. It hit a soup kettle. The flagship immediately surrendered. Total casualties: 0 humans, 1 kettle. This was a real war between real countries, and somehow it is about to get more embarrassing. This is Oops, History. True stories that sound fake. Today, the Kettle War. Let's set the scene. The Scheldt River is Antwerp's only road to the sea. In 1585, during their war with Spain, the Dutch slammed it shut, and then just never unlocked it. 200 years of closure. Antwerp, once the richest port in northern Europe, slowly suffocated, while Amsterdam, which was Dutch, how convenient, absorbed all of that lovely trade. The Dutch reviewed this arrangement regularly and concluded it was perfect. Enter Joseph II, Holy Roman Emperor, ruler of the Austrian Netherlands, roughly modern Belgium, and a man who reformed everything he touched, whether it wanted reforming or not. In 1784, he demanded the Dutch open the Scheldt. The Dutch, politely and firmly, declined, so Joseph decided to simply sail through and dare them to react. He sent 3 ships toward the sea, led by the merchant flagship Le Louis. His entire military theory was, the Dutch would never dare fire on the emperor's flag. That was the plan. The flag was the plan. Small problem. The Dutch had spent those 2 centuries fighting practically everyone who came near that river. They would absolutely dare. October 8th, 1784. The Dutch Republic dispatched exactly 1 ship, the Dolphin, to meet the Imperial squadron. The Dolphin fired 1 warning shot. 1. And according to accounts, that single cannonball came down on a soup kettle on Le Louis's deck. The kettle did not make it. Le Louis struck her colors immediately. The flagship of the Holy Roman Emperor, defeated by property damage to lunch. No return fire, no heroic last stand. As far as anyone can tell, nobody on board even seriously considered fighting back. Tally for the entire naval engagement: shots fired, 1. Human casualties, 0. Kettle casualties, 1. Quite possibly the most cost-effective cannonball in military history. Joseph II did not take this gracefully. Humiliated in front of every court in Europe, he declared actual, formal war on the Dutch Republic. Europe immediately nicknamed it the Kettle War, which is a problem when your entire strategy depends on being intimidating. The war itself was tiny. Imperial troops raised a customs house. The Dutch opened their sluices and flooded their own countryside, an old national defense hobby, and the imperial advance stopped in the mud. Then the whole thing fizzled. No battles, no sieges, no glory. Just 2 countries glaring at each other across a wet river, while France offered to mediate. It ended at the negotiating table. The Treaty of Fontainebleau, November 8, 1785. And the terms are genuinely beautiful. The Scheldt stayed closed. Joseph went to war to open a river, and the river remained exactly as shut as when he started. But the Dutch did agree to pay him 10 million guilders, essentially an apology fee, with the kettle presumably itemized somewhere. Except the Dutch didn't feel like paying all of it. So France stepped in and covered half the bill on their behalf, mostly to make everyone stop talking about it. Read that again. Joseph started a war, lost the argument, and still got paid 10 million guilders, half of it by a country that wasn't even in the war. And Antwerp? Antwerp stayed strangled for years, until Napoleon came along and reopened the Scheldt the traditional way, by conquering everything in sight. So the war over the river changed nothing about the river. The one lasting outcome was a story in which the decisive weapon was soup. Time for the damage report. Shots fired, 1. Kettles lost, 1. Human casualties, 0. Wars declared over soup equipment, 1. Rivers actually opened, 0. Guilders paid to the man who lost, 10 million. Share of that bill paid by France for no good reason, half. The Kettle War remains the only war in history whose entire body count could have been repaired by a blacksmith. Subscribe. There is unfortunately plenty more where this came from.